Hello, beloveds. Hello, hello. It's Danielle with Danielle White Ministries. Listen, beloveds. Listen. I believe in this hour, the season that we're in, God is shifting things to come together. He's mending broken relationships. He's mending things. Where things that was once dead is getting ready to live, where things were relationships that he had ordained, that where the enemy had came in and kind of got in the middle of things. God is about to restore those. He's about to mend those. He's about to bring those back, those relationships back together. We're also in the season where he's getting ready to restore some things, where the things that has been stolen from you, where the enemy has taken things from you, where you have lost things that were supposed to be yours, but all of a sudden it disappeared out your hand. God is about to give those things back to you. Things are about to be given back. We're in a season of restoration. We're in a season where things was once lost is about to be rediscovered. And so I want you to not be so caught up in what's going on in the earth. Don't be so caught up in what's going on in the news. Don't be so caught up in what's going on, because God is actually, he's doing a new thing. We think that some people think that things are happening to destroy, but really things are happening to bring restoration. Things are happening to bring things back back to the original setting of what God had ordained, what he had intended for your life. That is what God is getting ready to do for you. And so if you have lost things in the past, if things that God told you was yours and all of a sudden it disappeared out your hand, it vanished out of your hand, that was the enemy. The enemy came to take, rob, and steal something from you that was actually yours. And so in this season, God is getting ready to give that thing back to you. He's getting ready to hand that thing back to you because it was already yours. It had been yours. It was ordained to be yours. But the enemy came in and what he did was he robbed you. He stole from you. And so God is saying, I'm going to give that thing back to you because that's yours. That's originally intended for you. You are the only one that is ordained, that is anointed to have that thing. And it doesn't matter what this thing is. It can be anything. Only you know what was stolen from you. Only you know what God told you was yours. And then all of a sudden, it's not there anymore. So I want to encourage you to don't worry about the thing being taken from you that God told you was yours, because God is about to give it back to you. He's about to hand it back to you. It may not look the same way as it looked when it left, and it may not be the same exact thing, but it'll be that thing that God said was yours. Sometimes the enemy will try to deceive us and try to manipulate us out of our blessing. And so we have to understand that the enemy comes to steal, he comes to rob, he comes to destroy. That is his job. If the enemy does not do what he is intended to do, then he's not on his job. And so we have to be very attentive to when the enemy comes in and rob us. And so a lot of times he comes in and he robs us of our thing, and we just say, oh, well, I guess that just wasn't for me. Okay, well, and we go over to something else. But really God had said that's yours. You have to fight for what God said is yours. You can't just let the enemy snatch and rob from you and you just say, oh, it's okay, I guess that just wasn't for me. No, it's yours. It's what God said is yours. It's your promise. So sometimes you have to fight for your promise, but you have to know, you have to discern what God sent and what is sent by the enemy. What is sent by the enemy usually don't disappear. It usually stay, because that's what counterfeited things does. That's what things, when it's not intended, it kind of linger around. But anything that God has ordained, sometimes in the beginning it's a little rough. And sometimes in the beginning it don't seem quite right, because it's like a little struggle. It's like a little struggle there. That's because that's intended. That's because it's ordained, and the devil don't like ordained things. He don't like covenant things, and so you have to be able to discern that. And so I just wanted to tell you that God is about to give that thing back to you. So what you have to do is you're going to have to go into some deep prayer, and fight for what God has said is yours. Don't